And hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sharing Your Journeys with my beautiful friend Angelo. It's been a while. So Angelo last came on, I think about 4 or 5 months ago, and a lot of you have literally blown up my DMs, mentioned it on YouTube, and everywhere else I've posted this that you'll love to have him back on. So we made it happen. Finally, we made it happen. So without further ado, I'm gonna pass it straight over to you, Angela, and let us know how you've been getting on. How's your hosiery journey been? How have you been since we've last spoke? I want to hear all the gossip.
The gossip. That's funny. Well, it has been very, very busy. Not so much with the hosiery world. I try to,
Hmm.
keep the content fresh and try some new things, which probably you
Yeah.
have seen. But other than that, just very busy at work. And there have been a couple of developments that have been tough in my life recently, but, pulling through. And and just trying, to keep going and positive and yeah, that's it. How have you been? Like you have been doing
Good,
amazing
good.
too. Yeah.
Oh, too busy. At the moment, I've been way too busy for my liking. It's not a
Yes.
bad thing. I'm grateful and I'm blessed. But you know when you're
Mhm.
like, oh my God, give me some space to breathe, then I'll
Yes.
be like, okay. But
Yeah, you took a much needed break for a little bit. We miss you dearly during that time.
yeah,
And then you
yes, I
return in full
did.
swing.
Like I was never gone. Honestly,
True.
honestly. Yeah, but no, otherwise it's been really good. But you mentioned, yes, I've been keeping up with all your posts and I love the content. I love the different types that you do. I love the Doc Martens. I'm such a big Doc Martens fan anyway. So anytime it's Doc Martens and Hosier, I'm there. So I'm loving it though. I'm loving the fashion. I'm loving how you are trying different things. It's not gonna notice, that's for sure. But no, it's really nice. It's actually just really nice just to catch up with it all. Like even when I have been away here and there and not been on social much, and it's like, oh, Angela's popped up on my feed. Here he is. Let's have a little mooch. What's been going on here? What's been going on here? But but I did want to obviously mention as well. So from your part one, a lot of people I've probably got like 5 or 6 questions. So we'll try and get them all done.
Sure.
Um that have actually popped up. A couple from like YouTube, a couple obviously in my DMs and everything, which have been really, really good questions actually. That I kind of wanted to put forward to you when obviously when we do this, because I thought I could easily slide up in your DMs and just be like, oh, Angelo, can you answer this? But I was like, actually, it'd be nice just to have like a little on the series.
Hmm.
Um, so one of the first ones that I thought was pretty interesting actually, and I think probably a really good question to start off with. So is what are the most important factors to consider when choosing tights for men?
Hmm. So meaning like why I don't wear them that often? Because I don't actually.
So I
You mean ties that were made manufactured specifically for men? Is that what you're saying?
think they're saying some of the most important factors to consider. So I suppose when I've spoken to a lot of men, um
Hmm.
I kind of recommend like the seamless because the seamless like there's no gusset, there's no like major seams where it is
Oh,
it's
I
probably
see.
more for a women's body type rather than a male body type. So there's little things like that. So in terms of from a male perspective, when you're choosing hosiery, like what are
Gotcha.
your like I have to have this in this, otherwise I'm not buying it.
Gotcha. I'm glad I asked you again because I got it all wrong. And I
It's
thought that was
so
actually,
good.
I could answer that question too. I can just ask myself and then answer that too if we have the time. So yeah, when considering, it's funny, like that has never crossed my mind as a something that is more comfortable, seamless.
Hmm.
In fact, I find it seamless a little bit more trickier because they tend to
Oh,
stay in place less, in my opinion.
yeah.
Um, so when as thinking as a guy, and when I'm wearing, I tend to prefer something that is even either more resistant or something that is not as constricting.
Yeah,
So
with you.
I would consider, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily recommend seamless. I would consider, like, I would just ask the person, like, how the control top is very important. Like, if you need
Yeah.
it or you want it, just make sure to get it right, because that's what is going to make it very uncomfortable for you or not. You just the level of pressure, right, or tightness.
Yeah.
Um, which personally I like sheer to waist or seamless
Mm.
for myself, all right? But I know that a lot of guys would appreciate the support of a control top.
Yeah.
So that's what one thing I would say, just make sure that it's not too much, right? And because I think a lot of tights, they come rather
Mm.
tight on the waistband.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um
Yeah.
so that would be one consideration I would have. And another one to have is just like, in terms of sheerness, a lot of guys are not very comfortable to go like super sheer.
Yeah.
And the denier is not necessarily an equal chart of how sheer ties are, right? Because a lot of guys are not comfortable, shaving their legs, for instance,
Yeah.
right? So they go for thicker denier just to conceal it, right? Which is totally fine, right? Whatever works for you. Um, so on that regard, like a 40 or plus will help you, I think, more to cover.
Mm. Yeah. I
And
agree.
so that, yeah, those probably would be the two things that come to mind.
Okay, cool. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that actually. It's just nice, I suppose. Um, asking someone who, who does wear hosiery a lot, that question rather
Mm,
than, oh, I only wear it every so often and I just buy any kind of pair kind of thing. It's nice to give some expertise. Um,
yeah.
here's another really good one, which I thought was something actually I really wanted to ask, considering you're very public when you wear, and I love that, absolutely love that about you. So somebody's asked, have you encountered any stigma or stereotypes because you wear tights? And if you have, how do you address it?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. It's funny. A lot of people, like people who ask me, either at work or on the street, they make it's not really a stigma, but it's more
Mm,
like an assumption, and
yeah.
they assume that I just do it for athletic purposes. Like,
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah, people told me, "Oh, are you playing soccer today?" And I was like, "Really? Would you wear these tights for soccer? Like football?"
Yeah.
And they was like, and I said, "No, I just do it because I like them, right?" And
Yeah.
that's usually the end of the conversation, right? There have been just a couple of comments, like from a very, you could tell that she just was a very stern lady, right? We just
Oh
like,
yeah.
she told me that once, like, just put some pants on, right? And I was like, oh, well, I just look at her, so I said, well, I'll consider it. And what else can she
I love
say, right?
that.
What else can she say, right? It's
Yeah.
very rare that I get someone who, like tries to make a point. Uh,
Mm,
but other than that, I had never been, done with the stigma, like, oh, that's just for women, or even though
mm,
they may think it, but I have no control of what they think, right?
yeah. Yeah.
It's their business, not mine. Um, so yeah, that's it. It's
Yeah.
funny. It's like usually it's not a stigma, it's just simply an assumption, because so
Mm,
many guys out there now are wearing, like athletic tights. So it
yeah.
seems to be a little
Yeah.
bit more. I think the gap is has narrowed because of that,
Mm.
and make things a little bit easier for acceptance.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that because even like a lot of people, like even when because I live not too far from a gym, and there's a lot more men that are now wearing like athletic leggings, and I'm like, oh, okay. Obviously not because it's
Yes,
getting colder, but they still want to, still have that movement and that freedom of wearing shorts and everything. So I'm like,
correct.
okay, okay. So
Yes.
no, thank you for answering that because it's really interesting to hear. Um, so here's another one, and
Hmm.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on it because obviously everybody has different opinions to it.
Of course.
So somebody's put, have you ever wanted to experience feminine clothing at all? Because you're always so masculine. Has it ever crossed
Hmm.
your mind to try something a little more feminine?
No, frankly, no, because I really have never and I'm not saying it's the same, right? Like gender identity and just the desire to cross dress are not the same thing,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
it's interesting. I have one friend online that also like I had that question for him. It's like, well, like I noticed that your outfits are like very feminine. Like you even like wear like a lingerie and something
Mm,
that clearly is meant to support a female anatomy.
yeah,
And you
yeah.
wear it, and I said the only thing you're really missing is just like a hairpiece or like is, but he told me, no, I'm happy as a guy. I don't want to be a woman.
Yeah.
He just do it because I just find it fun, or I didn't push, right, or elaborate further. But yeah, no, I haven't had that desire or exploration. Like, oh, I wonder what it would be like to assume a female persona.
Mm,
So I haven't had that, or I haven't had the desire to feel like I'm just going to try and wear high heels or just
yeah.
a female aesthetic. It's not necessarily the female gender, like I feel female. I never
Hmm.
experienced that, or the desire to adopt a female aesthetic, right? It's even in my statement in my profile, right? Like in my way, I feel like we guys, it was part of our attire in the past. So in a
Yeah.
way, I'm just reclaiming it, right? I'm not I don't feel like I'm borrowing from females' garments ever,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
I
it
get
doesn't feel
that.
natural to me to do that with other items, right? Like yeah,
Mm.
blouses, high heels. Like I appreciate I love the female aesthetic, but in women,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. No, I get
Yeah.
that. It's just, I thought it was a very interesting question just because when I've
Hmm.
had a lot of different conversations with so many different men,
Hmm.
they have like similar opinions to yours, but it's also I've had a lot of men where when they've started their hosiery journey, because they it's like they unlock or unleash this feminine power in them that kind of
Hmm.
it's not like, oh, that's I want to become a cross dresser, but it tempts them to try different things, whether it be, okay, do you know what? I want to try maybe a skirt today, or but still kind of dress it sort of upper masculine, lower feminine. It doesn't have to be with
Hmm.
heels, it could just be with boots or something, but it tempts them to kind of try different things in that because some
Hmm.
people sort of think, well, if I'm trying hosiery and that's deemed feminine, let me just kind of go within that feminine energy that's within them, and then maybe just see, is this for me, is this not for me, kind of thing. And there's just exploration, there's just this thing which I think there's no right or wrong. I think it's just whatever obviously you're
You're
comfortable
right.
with. um but it is just very interesting hearing everyone's different perspective on that, because
Hmm.
it can be a very touchy topic for a lot of people, and I completely understand
Yes,
that. But yeah,
for
it's just nice
sure.
to know. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just
um
adds extra steps in the on each person's
it
journey, right?
does.
Because
Yeah.
it's not only it's not just a culture. It's just like a not. It's something that is not traditional. So every time you do something that is not traditional, you keep adding
Yeah.
more and more of steps to break through, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so no, if anything, it's just I admire people who have that and they just decide to go for it. And no, it's fantastic. It's just another expression, right?
Yeah,
We are so many in
exactly.
this world that we need
Yep.
individuality as much as possible.
No, I agree. I agree 100,000%. Because I'm always very
Mhm.
much like we spoke about trends last time, and it was just I'm exactly the same. I hate following trends. I hate being
Yeah.
part of that little sheep clan where it's okay, well, autumn, winter is just neutral colors. And at the moment, everyone's wearing burgundy, and it's like burgundy is a beautiful color, but I'm not going to be top to toe in it. I'll be wearing burgundy when it's going out of fashion. Then you'll see me in
Yeah,
burgundy, because it's
that's
like I
true.
don't want to be part of the clan that are
That's right.
already doing it. So
I
no,
totally agree. I totally agree.
I hear that. So here's a really good question for you, actually, just because I
Hmm.
love your style anyway. Any new people I come across, you're one of my top three people I mentioned to be like, you need to follow this account. So
Oh,
here's
that's
a
so
really good
kind of you. Thank you.
question.
Hmm.
Anytime. I gotta support my men. Um, So here's a good
And
one. So I love.
speaking of, sorry, before you go into,
No,
speaking
it's
of
okay.
support, I'm wearing yours too tonight.
Oh, you do.
So
Oh, yay!
the
Oh, yay!
amazing. So yeah, so I love these. They're just so good. These are
Oh,
the
thank
moonlight.
you.
I don't know. Maybe the light is kind of moody, so the
You
blue
know,
doesn't show much. But
yeah, it gives it. Yeah, you can tell there, but that's one thing I love about Moonlight because it's like, is it blue? Is it black? Is it like,
mhm,
and depending on that, literally,
mhm,
is depending on the light, you'll either get the blue or you'll get
that's
it
right.
shading so much darker.
Or their
But
shorts, right? Because the shorts that I'm wearing are navy, so they just carrying
yeah,
that blue tint, right?
yeah,
So I love it.
yeah.
It's great.
I
So
love.
yeah,
Oh, thank you.
sorry
Thank
to just
you.
sidetrack you because you were saying about the support. So
No, that's cool. No, that's cool. You can interrupt me anytime. Um, so here's the question. So I love pantyhose, but I don't know how to style them. Any
mhm,
tips on how to begin? So I suppose it's yeah. Have you got any styling tips just for beginners?
absolutely. Yeah, I think I briefly touched it in the first interview, but for me the
Mm,
main mantra is, well, of course, depends on your personal style, right? Like because
yeah.
uh if you are very out there and just go with the flow, like really just do whatever you want, right? But if you want to be a little bit more like integrated, I would say, I apply the same rules that I would apply to with socks to hosiery. That's what I
Mm,
do. So I was lucky enough that I have a person that work in the fashion industry and for media. So I got amazing tips from her. And so, for example, I know that socks, when you it's only a guideline, right? It's not necessarily what you have to do. It's not a law. But
yeah.
with socks, is you match them to your pants, not your shoes, and you go a tone darker to what they are, right? So I follow the same principle. So for that reason, like I don't think I would wear. I could, but I wouldn't wear gray tights, even though I'm wearing like gray sneakers and a gray shirt
Mm,
with these
mm,
shorts because my shorts are navy, right? So I carry the silhouette.
yeah.
So in a
I hear
way,
you.
that makes you look like your legs are not cut off, right?
Yeah.
So that it's the same thing. That's why I wouldn't wear like great socks with navy pants. I would never do that because with jeans is slightly different. Jeans is that's the element that
Yeah.
starts, allow you to break the rules a little bit and be more playful, and then you can just play with your top instead. Match your socks with your
Mm,
top or match your tights with your top, right? So if you're just starting, I would just that's what I would recommend. Just go simple and apply those same rules for socks or hosiery, right? And also the other consideration is like for some guys, it's not necessarily about styling them; it's just about them being invisible. So they just
yeah.
go for nudes, and that's fine if that's what they want to do. Then you don't need to worry about the nudes because it's meant to be invisible. So why would you care? Just wear
Yeah.
whatever shorts you
Yeah.
want. But if I was to wear beige, for example, nudes or tan hosiery, I would wear tan or beige shorts. So they just carry the
Yeah.
theme, right? And it's just to have that silhouette that is sharp and clean and continuous, right? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100 no, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
100% because I tend to do the same. I mean, obviously I haven't been recently because I love color blocking.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. It's yeah, to elongate the leg and just give it exactly how you said, like a really aesthetically cleaner look. It's nice to
Mm-hmm.
kind of pair up like so for instance, navy and navy would go really, really well. Rather than doing like you said, navy and gray, which can be quite bold and out there to be, especially to begin with. That is a very kind of statement look
Mm-hmm.
to do.
At
But
least, at least between the waist down, right? Because
yeah.
I am wearing a gray shirt, right? So like navy is such a or black are just so forgiving, right? You can wear with so many different colors,
Yeah,
right? It's just the blocks that you create, the horizontal blocks that you create within your
yeah,
body, right? Um, and that's another thing. Like I would also suggest just try to keep it simple, right? Because
yeah,
if you're a guy and you're gonna be hosiery, that's already a bold statement, right?
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
see that
yeah,
every day. So
yeah,
if I was to wear, like, for instance, with this outfit, like orange sneakers, I think they probably would be very good, but it just adds another
yeah,
exclamation point. It's another focal point. It's like, so yeah, like I would totally do it in a very festive situation, but a daily wear, maybe I would think twice, right? Or
mm,
um, yeah, that's yeah, maybe I'm a little bit conservative on that regard, but I think that's kind of my contribution. Is just to have that blending,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
persona, because there are some out guys there that do amazing. They just go so wacky and colorful and expressive, and I love that. I absolutely love that, right? And I'm glad that there's
Yeah.
people like that, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I think a lot of it is exactly how you said. It's down to your personality and your style and what you're comfortable with
Hmm.
as well. Like, I'm now like living my best life in color. And it is, and it's just, oh my God, I never would have touched it last year or many, many years before. I would barely be in color. But now it's just naturally your style changes as you get older or whatever other factor's going to change your style. But it is just one of those things. I think starting off simple really helps. And then once you're kind of comfortable and confident in that, I feel then you can just be like, okay, right, let's make a statement piece or let's wear something statementy and let's make something else a focal point, like how you said, kind of
Exactly.
thing. So yeah, it's I
Hmm.
think I think it is just baby steps. I think you've got to just start somewhere, but don't feel like it has to be this really big statement outfit and then it's just you just feel like everybody's just staring at you top to toe kind of thing, where actually it doesn't need to be like that. It can just be something super, super simple, but still very,
Hmm.
very effective. So
Correct.
yeah. Yeah. No, I like that. Thank you. Thank you for that, Angelo. That
Hmm.
was really good advice. Um, here's another good question.
Hmm.
You probably might get this a lot. Have you met any guys in person who also wear pantyhose?
Well, yes, but I'm a private person, so I'm not gonna, say anything. But yes, and of different gender, sorry, of different sexual orientations, and
Yeah.
yeah, it has been great. Hmm.
No, that's good. No, that's good to know because I think that's another thing that I've come across a lot since a couple of years ago. And I've probably spoken about so much more now, and I see it so much more now than when I kind of first started my business and even prior to that. It was
Hmm.
very not many men met up with men, whether it's just friendship or more, whatever it may be, it wasn't a thing. Whereas now I kind of see it as actually there's a lot more people supporting people. Like I remember JJ did it a lot. So it's like, luckily I got to meet him in London a day before he was doing the actual Hosiery meetup. And stuff like that is really cool. And I think it's really nice just to gain that support from different people. And it is just connecting on different levels, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's you could be
Hmm.
so well into your journey versus someone who's like, well, I want to meet people like this because I'm starting my journey and I would like the help and advice, and people are already through it and they've gone out the other end and they're completely like owning it. So no, I think it is great the fact that it happens more and more. It's a shame it's just not in the UK so much. That's the only thing.
But it's interesting because I feel like in the UK there's actually a lot of hose wearers there.
No, there are. There
Yes,
are.
and yeah, there's a lot, and you're concentrated in a smaller area. So if anything, I feel like they're lucky. So
Yeah.
they should take more advantage of that.
Well, yeah, yeah. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. I might have to start something, I might have to just start something to be like, oh my God, every so often we're just going to connect and get together.
That
Um,
sounds like a great idea. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Honestly, I think it's just nice, especially when like I've always kind of said it. It's just when you have just something in common generally, and obviously hosiery being the main one, it's just nice to build friendships off that. It doesn't have to be all hosiery based, but it is just like there's so much more that you can connect on and just yeah, it's just it's just nice. I just find it's just nice just to connect with people considering we're now in a place where we're kind of second guessing everything. But I'm not going to
True.
bring my personal opinions into this.
I
I'm not going to bring them into this.
know what you might
But
be hinting at, but yeah.
yeah, yeah, honestly, just yeah, but no, it's nice. It's nice the fact that a lot more men do, and especially I've always seen it like in the in the USA, probably Canada, maybe not so much. I think I've seen it once, maybe in Mexico, but my biggest place literally is USA. I always see something pop up in the USA, and I'm like, oh, this is so nice. This is so nice.
Hmm.
But on that note, so here's another follow-up question, and they've also asked,
Hmm.
have you convinced any guys to start wearing, or is everyone you meet somebody who already has started?
Interesting. You know what? If I have, I'm not aware of it.
Oh, okay.
because because that's one thing. Like I feel like that's something that I would never attempt to do to convince
Mm,
anybody. Because then,
mm.
to me, that brings us back to the situation of the stigma, right? I feel like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I feel like you should try it too. Like because I don't feel like um, I don't know that I need to make a point or make a case or bring more people to this fight because to me, like it's not a fight anymore, right?
Mm,
And so yeah, no, I haven't tried to convince anybody, and but I have gotten nice comments from guys, right?
yeah.
And there have been a couple who said I said, "Oh, that looks great," and rock on. And I've noticed how actually they might have worn athletic tights after. So in a way, I feel like
Get
that
you.
made them confident to the silhouette, right? So you
Yeah.
never know. You never know.
You know what? That'd be so awesome if you actually
Yeah.
did. Because I love it when people say to me, "Oh my God, it's because of you that I've now like wanted to wear or just even try it and see what the hype is." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that is so incredible! Like I've never had to say anything to you, kind of thing." But
Yeah,
but
indeed.
no, that is really cool.
Yeah, and I do. I actually recognize also in my work environment that more girls are wearing. So in a way, I feel like I'm also helping girls just to remind them
Ooh,
you have this amazing piece of clothing that you're not taking advantage of. So if you don't, I will.
yeah,
so I have,
yeah, yeah. Pass
so
it
the
over.
girls are like, oh, I need to catch up because Angelo is showing better legs than me. So that is not possible.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that. But it's
so
nice that you are, because literally I get it all the time where everyone's like, "Oh my God, Sony, can you just get more women wearing?" And I'm like, look, us women, like, we take a lot of convincing sometimes. Sometimes it could be something so minor, and sometimes it can be like, no, 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 no matter what kind of thing. But it
uh-huh.
is just. But yeah, if you can get women to do it, oh my God, trust me. Right, I'm gonna shout that out loud everywhere. So I'm gonna be like, Angelo has done it. Angelo,
Yes,
Angelo has done it.
I've done
He's
it, and
finally
I've
got
done it.
women.
Yeah, so yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. No, I'm really glad you
The
came
one,
on today.
sorry, I just want to add one thing. Like
No, it's
the one thing I
okay.
haven't done is just to take leg fees with them because I don't like.
That'd be something.
I know that would be awesome, but like I feel like it's just a boundary that I'm not willing to go, right? Because if
Yeah,
you notice
yeah.
in my posts, like I only post photos of myself, but never with
Mm.
family or friends.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
only
yeah.
with me or other host wearers. So yeah, like it's too bad that I cannot demonstrate that, right? And it has been in the top of my
Yeah.
head. It's like, could I just take a photo with you? But I don't know. I feel like it's almost like it will have to come from them,
Yeah,
right?
no, 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 I get that. I get that. I think it is because I would be the exact same. It'd be like if I saw a guy wearing, as much as be like, oh my God, can I take a photo with you and we'll do like a leg feed together? It's also like, but I don't want to like cross boundaries and he might think, what the heck? And I'm thinking, oh, but it's okay because we're both, do you know what I mean? So I
That's
totally
right.
understand where you're coming from there with that. It's that whole, I suppose if she said it, or if you were to be like, oh yeah, I'm setting up a, like I've tried to do it in the past and it nearly worked until he got whisked away with someone. But literally I was like literally setting up my tripod to do outdoor shoots the one time I wanted to do outdoor shoots. And they were like, yeah, yeah, you can jump in if you want to jump in. I'm just taking pictures of my legs. And so, you're not going to be identified. He was so on it. And then it was just like, I think obviously his other mate came saying, like, we're
Wow.
running late to dinner. Can you not? And then I was just like, okay, I feel really embarrassed just doing it by myself now. So I was like, I'm just going to walk away.
Oh,
I'm just going to just walk
oh.
away. But I was so
Wow.
close. I
What
was
a
so
great
close.
story. Oh man.
Honestly. But I think that's probably the only way you can try and kind of get them to do it in a way where it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, I'll jump in and you've got consent rather than straight up asking. But even then it's you got to tread carefully with it, haven't you? So I get
Absolutely.
that.
Especially since we, post, right? And my
Yeah.
account is private, so it's a little bit more okay, but still,
Mm,
I feel like it's just I don't know. I would have to think very carefully on how to do it
yeah.
for sure. Like
Yeah.
you were saying, right?
Yeah, 100%. But it'd be amazing if you do though. Oh my God, that'd be something to see.
Yes.
100%. 100%. Right. I'm really conscious that we're running out of time, but honestly, I just want to say
Oh,
thank you
okay.
so much for coming on, Angelo. Like, I really appreciate you being on. I'm so glad we got to catch up after
Hmm.
God knows how many months. I never like to leave it this long, but then because of my stupid schedule,
Yeah, no
it is
worries.
what it is.
Time flew. I didn't realize that time
Honestly.
flew so quickly. Okay.
Honestly, it's literally because I like look back and I'm like, oh my God, it's been 4 months. And I was like, it doesn't feel like 4 months ago that like we actually got together and did this. And I'm like, wow, wow. But it's incredible. But I'm so glad that you managed to come on and answer the people's questions. So I'm super happy about that. Thank you. And we'll
Oh,
definitely,
thank
we'll
you.
definitely get together, not leave it too long, but we'll definitely get together again. And if you'd like to come on for a part three at some point, and we can just discuss topics, more than welcome
Hmm.
to. And then if you potentially get to have a leg feed with a woman, oh my God, that'd be something. I'm really wishing for that now. But no, thank you. I just really want to say thank you so much. It honestly means so much to me you coming on today.
Oh, that's so kind of you. No, it's the other way around. Like I've said it many times before, and I'll say it again. Thank you so much for all you do and for all the support.
Oh, anytime, my love, anytime. Right, well, I will love you and leave you, and thank you so much. And until next time, thank you so much, everybody, for watching and listening. And yeah, hopefully we'll get Angelo back on soon. It won't be too long, I promise. Thank you.
Okay, have a wonderful evening. Bye bye.